Hi, and welcome to this tutorial video where we're going to be showing you how to manage your remote Hyper-V servers. So if you're actually doing the home lab with just one computer and you're going to be doing everything from that laptop or desktop that we've installed the server OS on and configured Hyper-V on it, you won't really need this video. But this video is going to be very useful if you have two computers. You have one computer that we've just configured with our OS with Server 2002 and installed our Hyper-V role on it. And then you have a Windows 11 or a Windows 10 PC that you're going to be using it to configure kind of the way that we configured the entire thing through PowerShell remoting. This video is going to be very, very useful for you. We're going to be configuring two tools to be able to remotely manage the Hyper-V VMs and actually go through the install, because we're going to be creating the VMs with PowerShell, but unfortunately the install of the OS still needs to be a manual process. So we actually do need tools to be able to connect to those VMs. And this is going to be especially useful if you're using a Windows Server Core Edition where you do not have a GUI. So we're going to start off with just actually configuring our Hyper-V Manager on our Windows 11 box here. There are a few steps to follow. Now, I've actually already fully configured this computer with the Hyper-V Manager on it, but we're going to go through all the different steps in order to configure it on your end, and then everything will work properly. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is actually open up a PowerShell session in administrator mode. So you're going to want to make sure that you have that open and make sure that it is in administrator mode. And the first line you're going to want to do on your Windows 10 machine is going to be to enable Windows optional feature. And we're going to do a parameter of online, the parameter feature name, and for the feature name we're going to put in Microsoft Hyper V tools all, and then we're going to do the parameter all. Now what this is actually going to do, it's going to install all the Hyper-V remote administration tools that you will actually need. So that will actually install, as you probably have seen it on our server, we actually now have a Hyper-V Manager on your computer. Now, there are a few more steps. If you try to connect directly to the server right now, you might be able to, depending on how exactly you have your Windows 11 machine configured, but you might encounter some issues like I did. So the other steps that we're going to have to do is make sure that all of our network cards are set to private and not public as a network category. So to actually look at that is if we do a Get-NetConnectionProfile, here are the two networks that I have on my computer right now. And as we can see, the network category for both of them is private. So the easiest way to actually do that here is to do a Get-NetConnectionProfile and then actually pipe that to Set-NetConnectionProfile and then network category and set that to private. And that will actually set all of your connections to private. And this is very, very important for the next commandlet that next command that we are going to run, which is going to be to set the remote management capabilities for our clients. Now, one thing that I'm actually going to do as well is I'm going to put all these commands in the description down below, because I know that some of them can actually get quite lengthy, especially the ones coming up. And I don't want you guys to have to copy paste or manually type in all of those because they are registry entries. It's a lot easier to copy paste that code and then just change the name of the computer that you want inside the registry options. So the next command that we are going to actually run is going to be WinRM quick config. And right now it says Win service is already running on this machine. WinRM is already set up for remote management on this computer. Now, if you haven't done this yet on your client, you will actually get a pop-up to put in a yes or no to actually enable the WinRM for remote management. You're going to want to put in Y for this, and that will enable it. If you get an error saying that your network profiles are still set to public and not private, you're going to have to look back at that commands that we just ran and make sure that all your net connection profiles are set to private, because the WinRM will not let you set up remote management on the computer if one of them is set to public. So just please keep that in mind. And then we have a bunch of registry entries here, and I'm actually not even going to type them all in there. But they are going to be in the description down below. So let me just copy paste these here because they are quite, I don't know if I can actually copy paste them in here. It seems like I cannot. So let me go ahead and start typing them in here. So we're going to do a new item, a new dash item, and we're going to put in the path. And our path that we are going to put in is going to be HKLM / software policies. You can actually tab complete these. So Microsoft and then Windows. And we are going to say the name for this is going to be CredentialsDelegation. And it's going to actually tell me that the path already exists, which is perfectly fine. And for you, it might also tell you that it already exists. In the next line, we're going to put in new item. We're going to put in a path here. And we are going to put in the path HKLM : /software / policies /Microsoft / Windows /credentials delegations. And we are going to put the name as AllowFreshCredentials WhenNTLMOnly. And once we put that in double quotes, we're then going to do a property this should actually be a new item property, not just new item here. Let me actually just change that here so we actually get the proper parameters here. And then the property type is going to be a DWord. And then the value is going to be in double quotes here. It is going to be 00000001. So again, this will all be copy pasted in the description of this video. So you do not have to type these in manually. This will all be available for you guys just down below. And then what we're going to do as well now, we're going to do another new item property. It will have the exact same path. And now for the name, it is going to be concatenate defaults. So concatenate defaults _ allow fresh NTLM only, and the property type will be another DWord, and the value will be the exact same value of the 00000001. And as you're going to see, the property already actually exists here. Oh, and I did a typo in the other one here. It should be NTLM, not NTLM. So if we do make a mistake here, to actually delete that, you're definitely going to have to go into the registry editor and just make sure that you're deleting the right one. So if I go in here, HKLM, and go into software, policies, Microsoft, and then Windows, and then credential delegation, and NTLM. So as you can see, we do have a lot to create here. And you are going to have another new item property to put in here. And it's going to be actually a new item altogether. And the path will be in the credentials delegations. And then the name for this one will be AllowFreshCredentialsWhenNTLMOnly. So again, this will actually have pretty much the same name as our first item property, but this will actually just be a new item. And for that, it does not need a property or a value. And we should actually get that this item already exists, and we do. And then what we are going to now do is do another new item property. Path. And it's going to be HKLM /software /policies /Microsoft /Windows /credential delegations, allow fresh credentials when NTLM only. And we are going to put the name of this one as 1. And the value here is actually going to be wsman /, and this will be the name of your machine. So this will be JP Hyper-V 2022 for me. This will be your server name here, and we're going to get the property already exists. So again, do not type these in manually. Do get them from the description down below. I will definitely avoid a lot of typos. And it's just going to be a lot easier for you guys as well. So once we've done all of this on our client machine, what we actually need to go ahead and do is actually RDP into our server as well and open up a Windows PowerShell under administrator mode as well. And we are going to type in Enable-WSManCredSSP Role server, and you are going to run that, and it's going to give you a feedback here. If it gives you an error, it would depend on the error that you're getting. I've never had an error running this command, but once you actually run this, you should actually be fully good to go to actually connect to the Hyper-V Manager as if you were on the server. Now, of course, if you were on a core only, you don't even have the Hyper-V Manager available to you through a GUI format. You would actually definitely have to install this Hyper-V Manager. And then we're going to click on Connect to Server. We're going to put JP Hyper-V 2022 in here, or the name of your server. And you're going to connect as another user here and click on Set User. And here I'm going to put JP Hyper-V 2022. Here you would put the name of your server here, and then /administrator, and then put in the password. I like to just put remember me here and then click on OK. It can take a few seconds to actually fully connect here. And here we are. It is actually connected. So we actually do see our server name here, and we can actually go even into the virtual switch manager, and we are going to see the switch that we actually see just as well on our server. And if we go back to the server, here it is. We can actually see it as well here. So we can fully manage our Hyper-V instance through our Windows 11 box right now. Now, there is one other tool that is super useful that you will not be able to use to actually go through the installation of Windows Server or Linux on a VM, but it does let you give a lot of remote management capabilities to your server using your Windows 10 machine or Windows 11 machine, and that is the Windows Admin Center. Now, I'm probably going to have a video just on Windows Admin Center, but it is a fairly straightforward install here. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to open up our favorite browser and go to our favorite search engine and type in Windows Admin Center. Now, it should usually be about the first result that you get. It should be a Windows Admin Center overview. You're going to go ahead and click on that. And then there will be a download now option, and it's just going to be download Windows Admin Center. Once you click on that, you're going to want to download the Windows Admin Center here, and that will actually download a MSI, which I just have on my desktop here. And we are actually just going to double click on that. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to accept, and we're going to click on next here, click on next once again, next once again. Now, what I like to do is I actually like to create a desktop shortcut. It just makes it a little bit nicer to use. And we're going to click on install here. And this is actually going to install the Windows Admin Center, which is a very, very useful tool to manage all of your servers, whether they are on a domain or not. Completely remotely, you can actually start a remote desktop session from there. You can see the files, all the different drives on there. You can see the different users. It is very, very much a useful tool that completely replaces a lot of the remote administration tools that you're used to having. So it is definitely useful. If you haven't used it yet, this is a great time to actually give it a shot and try it out for yourselves here. So it just takes a few minutes to install here. And once that is installed, we should be able to just launch it right away. And you can actually even install Windows Admin Center on a server and have it as a service available for all the people in your enterprise as well. So we're just going to click on finish here, and we are going to go ahead and we are going to double click on the Windows Admin Center. There is a checkbox to automatically open it as well if you did want to do it that way. But we're just going to go ahead and we're going to launch it from our desktop here. And you're just going to have to select the certificate that it auto-generated for you and then click on OK. And it will actually load up here. We can actually close out of this. Now you might get a lot of pop-ups the first time you install it as well. I had it installed on this computer already once before, and then I uninstalled it and reinstalled it for the video here. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on add here. We're going to add a server. And here for the server name here, we're going to put JP Hype-V 2022. And we are going to see that we can actually put in a set of credentials here, and we're going to put JP Hype-V 2022 /administrator. And we're going to type in our administrator password here. And we're going to click add with credentials. And it's going to say you can add this server to your list of connections, but we can't confirm if it's available. That is fine. We're going to click on add here. And we are going to go ahead. We're going to click on that server. Now you might get this error the first time that you try to connect to it right after an installation. What you actually need to do is actually reboot your computer. So your Windows 10 client or your Windows 11 client. So let's go ahead and let's do that right now here. Let's go ahead and let's click on restart. And while the computer restarts here, I will be right back. All right, so our computer is actually rebooted here. So we're just waiting for it to start back up. And then we are going to go into the Windows Admin Center and look at our server from there. So let's go ahead and double click on the Windows Admin Center here. And in the next video, we're actually going to be configuring our VMs through PowerShell and then using these remote administration tools to finish the installation of the actual OS on that VM here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on our JP Hyper-V 2022 here. Once we go ahead, we click on that, we can go ahead and use another account for this connection. JP Hyper-V 2022 / administrator. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to put in our password here. And we're going to click on continue. And let's go ahead and all right, so we are back. So it's actually just finishing the install here. So if you do get that error after rebooting as well, you might have to wait for the admin center to fully actually configure. So it actually did end up popping up all these pop-ups here. I guess after uninstalling and reinstalling, it does actually still need to do that. So we are actually inside here. So if we actually just log out here and we go ahead and we remove these two machines here, we're going to go ahead, we're going to add our server once again. We're going to do a JP Hyper-V 2022 here. It's going to tell you that it needs the extra credentials. So you're going to put JP Hyper-V 2022 / administrator, put in your password in here, add WIS credentials. No, it decided to refresh on me here. So let me just do that real quick once again. So JP Hyper-V 2022 / administrator, and then put in my password here, add WIS credentials. And here we are, we now see it, and we can actually just click into that here, and it will automatically connect to that server. And on the side here, you will have all the different options that you can look at. So we can actually look at the different files that are on the server here. So once that loads up, you'll be able to see our C drive. We can actually go into it. We can actually see all the different folders that I have in there. We can see that I do have some ISOs in there for the VMs that we're going to be creating on the next video. We can actually go ahead and look at the different firewall options and the different rules that are in here. So we can actually look at all the rules that are set up on it. We can look at the local users and groups as well. You can look at the performance monitor. You can look at the different processes that are running on the computer. You can do your PowerShell commands from here as well. You can install roles and features, look at the scheduled tasks, run updates, look at the virtual machines. We can even look at the virtual switches here. So if we click on virtual switches, we will actually see our switch that we've actually created on that server. And once we actually create virtual machines, we will actually be able to see our virtual machines from here. Now, the limitation on Windows Admin Center, let's actually just re-put in our credentials here. The limitation of the Windows Admin Center for the Hyper-V virtual machines is that when you're actually setting up a VM and going through the OS install, the Windows Admin Center does not let you, at least in my experience, has not let me ever go through that installation process through the Windows Admin Center. We're actually going to be seeing that in the next video. And we're going to be using the Hyper-V Manager in order to actually connect to that machine and go through that install of the OS in order to create our VM. So hopefully this helped you guys be able to maybe increase your tools to remotely manage servers either in your home lab or at work, if that is your task. Especially with the Windows Admin Center, it is a very, very great tool to use in enterprise and even practice with it with your home lab. I definitely recommend using that over some of the millions of remote administration tools. It just puts everything in one nice place. It also has a lot of Azure integrations in there. This is by no means a pitch from Microsoft. This is just something that I actually started using a little while ago and didn't really pick up on it till most recently, and now I use it quite often. So hopefully you guys can see the same benefit as I did. If you guys have any comments or questions or problems with actually connecting your Hyper-V Manager on the client to your server, please let me know in the comment section down below. I will do my best to help you guys. Maybe make another video to clarify some things up as well if it's needed. If you guys have any comments or questions about anything else, please let me know in the comment section as well. If it's something that can benefit a lot of people, I will make a video on it. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell to be notified when that next video comes out, and I will see you guys on the next video.